Gareth Edwards directed Godzilla in 2014. He built the entire MonsterVerse, then he walked away and made Jurassic World Rebirth instead. That was not a coincidence, because the creatures he put in that film, they were engineered using the same size logic as Titans, the same threat scale, the same biological rules. And number 3 on this list? Monarch has no protocol for it, no classification, no containment strategy, nothing. Most people think Jurassic World and the MonsterVerse are completely separate universes, but here is what nobody is talking about. The same director, the same studio, Legendary Pictures, and the same philosophy of scale and biological terror runs through both franchises. Rebirth doesn't have Titans, but it has something arguably worse, creatures that evolved without any Titan to stop them. Today, we're ranking all 10 monsters from Jurassic World Rebirth by how much damage they would cause inside the MonsterVerse. Some of these will surprise you. Let's go. Number 10. Aqualops. Let's start with the one everybody laughed at, the Aqualops, a small, dog-sized ceratopsian herbivore that a little girl literally adopted as a pet and named Dolores. Cute, right? Here's the thing. In the MonsterVerse, every ecosystem crash started the same way, with something small that nobody took seriously. The Aqualops species survived from the early Cretaceous, 100 million years ago, in what is now Montana. That's before most Titan lineages even began. It didn't survive that long by being harmless. It survived by being completely invisible to every predator classification system on Earth. In a MonsterVerse scenario, Monarch would never flag it, never monitor it, never track it. And history shows us that the creature nobody monitors is always the one that breaks the ecosystem first. But that's just the warm-up. Number 9 is where things start getting wet. Number 9. Velociraptor. Everyone thinks they know velociraptors. After 6 Jurassic movies, they feel almost routine. Pack hunters, intelligent, fast. We've seen it. But Rebirth changed one thing that nobody noticed. In this film, a fully grown velociraptor is hunted, killed, and carried away by a Mutadon in seconds, without a fight. Think about what that means. In the MonsterVerse, the Skull Island ecosystem has creatures that could be compared to raptors in intelligence and speed. Kong's world has apex predators that operate on pack logic. But if a new hybrid species on a single island can make velociraptors, animals that terrorized humans for 6 films, look like prey, the MonsterVerse food chain just got a new middle tier. And middle-tier species, historically, are the most destabilizing. They're too small for Titans to notice, too smart for humans to contain. That is exactly how ecosystems collapse. Ecosystem collapse from the middle. Remember that, because number 8 hits from the top. Number 8. Titanosaurus. The Titanosaurus was the first creature Zora's team went after in the film, and the movie presented it as majestic, beautiful, almost peaceful. Don't let that fool you. The Rebirth Titanosaurus stands 50 feet tall, 70 feet long, legs the size of redwood trees, each leg 8 feet in circumference, weight over 30 tons. To put that in MonsterVerse scale, Titanus behemoth, the giant sloth titan from Brazil, is classified as a titan because of its mass and ecosystem impact. The Titanosaurus in Rebirth matches Behemoth's estimated weight class. But unlike Behemoth, who is peaceful, restorative, a farmer of ecosystems, the Rebirth Titanosaurus has one behavioral trait Monarch has never encountered in a creature this size. It is completely indifferent to everything around it. Not fearless, not aggressive, indifferent. A creature that large, moving with zero awareness of what it destroys in its path, is not a threat because it attacks. It's a threat because it doesn't notice you at all. Indifference at 30 tons, but number 7 found a way to weaponize indifference. Number 7. Spinosaurus pack. 3 of them, working together. That's what Rebirth confirmed about the Spinosaurus. Not 1, not 2, a coordinated pack of 3, operating as support units for a much larger predator. Paleontology already revised the Spinosaurus completely. New research proved it was fully amphibious, equally lethal on land and in water. It could pursue prey across rivers the way no other predator in history could. But this is the part that should concern MonsterVerse fans. Monarch's threat classification for Titans is based on individual biological dominance. 1 alpha, 1 territory, 1 hierarchy. The Rebirth Spinosaurs don't have an alpha among themselves. They operate as a unit, supporting a larger creature, sharing a kill, coordinating territory without a single leader. In the MonsterVerse, the closest equivalent is the Muto pair from 2014, and the Muto pair nearly brought down Godzilla. 3 Spinosaurs with amphibious capability, pack coordination, and no fixed alpha signal for Godzilla to suppress? That's not a Titan threat. That's a structural threat to how Titan dominance even works. Structure of dominance. What comes next doesn't just threaten the structure, it ignores it completely. Number 6. Dilophosaurus. Stop and picture this. A creature that doesn't attack you from the front, doesn't charge, doesn't roar to establish dominance. It spreads its frills, slowly. It circles, and then it spits. The Dilophosaurus venom in Rebirth isn't just incapacitating. According to the film's lore, it was engineered to be more concentrated than any natural Dilophosaurus specimen in the fossil record. InGen didn't recreate the original, they improved it. Now here's where it gets dangerous for the MonsterVerse. Titans communicate dominance through bioacoustic signals. Sound, frequency, radiation. The Dilophosaurus responds to none of those signals. It evolved long before those communication systems existed, 225 million years ago in the Triassic, before Godzilla's species, before the Muto lineage, before almost every documented Titan ancestor. It doesn't recognize the alpha signal because it predates the alpha signal. You cannot establish dominance over something that was here before dominance was invented. Before dominance was invented, that's our new benchmark. And number 5 took it further. If you're new here, this channel goes deeper into MonsterVerse and Kaiju lore than anywhere else on YouTube. The connections, the lore, the things Monarch buried. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. Because numbers 4, 3, and 1 on this list, number 1 is the reason Gareth Edwards made this film. I genuinely believe that. We're not done. Let's keep going. 5. Quetzalcoatlus. In the film, Jonathan Bailey's character describes it in one line. A flying carnivore the size of an F-16. That's not creative exaggeration. That's the official description from the film's own scientists. Wingspan, 30 feet. Height on the ground, 16 feet, 7 inches. Beak alone, 6 feet long. And this is the version of Quetzalcoatlus that's different from the one in Jurassic World Dominion. Richer coloring, more aggressive build, a head crest that looks almost weapon-like. In the MonsterVerse, Rodan is the apex of aerial dominance, a titan born from a volcano, body temperature matching magma, the living definition of aerial supremacy. But Rodan's dominance works because nothing else has ever contested it. The Rebirth Quetzalcoatlus nests in mountain caves. It defends eggs against threats at high altitude. It doesn't avoid the sky. It owns specific airspace with surgical precision. A creature that carves and defends three-dimensional territory in the sky isn't competing with Rodan for dominance. It's doing something Rodan has never encountered. It's organizing airspace. And a creature that organizes airspace is one step away from organizing an air force. An air force of prehistoric predators. And we haven't even hit the ocean yet. Number 4. Mosasaurus. 100 feet long, 40,000 pounds, moves at the speed of a killer whale. That's the Rebirth Mosasaurus. And the visual effects team confirmed something extraordinary. Director Gareth Edwards kept asking ILM to make it bigger. Shot by shot, they scaled it up. Some shots are 400% larger than the original design. In the MonsterVerse, the ocean belongs to Godzilla, his resting depth, his territory, his domain. But here's the problem. The Rebirth Mosasaurus doesn't just live in the ocean, it commands the ocean. It uses 3 Spinosauruses as hunting partners, coordinating an aquatic ambush strategy that involves land-capable creatures to cut off escape routes. Godzilla fights alone, always alone. He is the alpha. A creature that coordinates multi-species hunts has already figured out something Godzilla never needed to, that working together is more efficient than being the strongest thing in the water. And efficiency, in apex predator biology, always wins over raw power eventually. Efficiency over power. That's the MonsterVerse's most dangerous idea. And number 3 built an entire body plan around it. Number 3, Mutadon. This is the one I mentioned in the hook. The Mutadon was never supposed to exist. It was created in InGen's facility on Île Saint-Hubert, a secret research lab so classified it doesn't appear in any public InGen documentation. It's a hybrid, part Velociraptor, part Quetzalcoatlus. Raptor intelligence, curved killing claws, a pointed beak, and functional wings. A creature that can hunt on the ground and pursue prey into the air. Now listen carefully to what happened after the lab was abandoned. The Mutadons were left on the island for 17 years. 17 years with no human control, no containment, no population limit. And in those 17 years, they didn't just survive. They outcompeted velociraptors. They established territorial dominance over a species that the Jurassic franchise spent 30 years building up as the ultimate small predator. Monarch's entire containment philosophy is built on controlling environments. controlling ecosystems, managing radiation zones. The Mutadon evolved in an uncontrolled environment for nearly 2 decades and came out dominant. That means it doesn't just resist containment, it thrives specifically because there is no containment. In a MonsterVerse scenario, where Titan battles constantly reshape ecosystems, the Mutadon isn't threatened by chaos, it was built by chaos. And it got stronger every time the environment got worse. Built by chaos. Number 2 was built by something even more dangerous. Human ambition with no limit. Number 2. T-Rex, Rebirth version. There is no Jurassic film without the T-Rex. It is the franchise, the icon, the standard. And Rebirth didn't just bring it back. It gave it something no T-Rex in the franchise has ever had. A river sequence, directly from Michael Crichton's original 1990 novel, cut from Spielberg's first film, buried for 35 years. That sequence exists in Rebirth to tell us something specific. This T-Rex is not Rexy. It's not trained, not familiar with humans, not conditioned by 30 years of franchise history. This is a T-Rex that has lived on an isolated island for 17 years with no human contact, no containment, and no behavioral conditioning. It didn't learn to see humans as something to investigate. It learned to see everything as food. In the MonsterVerse, Titans respond to human presence because humans have interacted with Titans for decades. Orca technology works because Titans have learned bioacoustic patterns. A T-Rex with zero exposure to human technology, zero conditioning to Titan dominance signals, and 17 years of apex predator behavior on an isolated island has no signal to respond to, no frequency to follow, no authority to recognize. It is, by every definition Monarch uses, an unclassifiable threat. And that, in the MonsterVerse, is the most dangerous classification of all. Unclassifiable. But number 1 isn't just unclassifiable. Number 1 shouldn't exist at all. Number 1. Distortus Rex. Number 1 is not the largest creature on this list, not the fastest, not the oldest, but it is the only creature in the history of either franchise, Jurassic or MonsterVerse, that was specifically engineered to have no natural weakness. The Distortus Rex. InGen's 26th attempt to create a perfect hybrid. 26 failed versions before this one. And they didn't stop because they succeeded. They stopped because the thing that came out of version 23 was too dangerous to study. Let me give you the physical facts first. 6 limbs, not 4, 6. 2 massive gorilla-like arms at the front for grabbing prey. 2 standard hind legs for locomotion, and 2 additional smaller arms positioned between them. A skull shaped like a xenomorph. Deliberately, not accidentally. The design team built it to be psychologically destabilizing to look at. 26 feet tall, 47 feet long, 20,000 pounds. But none of that is why it's number 1. Here's why it's number 1. Every Titan in the MonsterVerse has one thing in common. Every single one. They evolved with natural predators, natural competition, natural pressure. That pressure created weaknesses, biological constraints that Monarch learned to exploit. Even Godzilla has documented vulnerabilities. Every alpha does. The Distortus Rex did not evolve. It was engineered by a corporation that specifically removed every natural constraint. That tested 25 failed versions specifically to identify and eliminate weaknesses. That left the 26th version on an island alone for 17 years to become whatever it needed to become to survive. And when Monarch encounters a Titan, their entire strategy depends on one question. What does this creature respond to? Radiation signals? Bioacoustics? Territorial pressure? The Distortus Rex responds to one thing: light. Not a Titan frequency, not an alpha signal, a flare. A human distracted it with a road flare. That's not a weakness. That's a creature so far outside Monarch's classification system that the only thing that worked on it was the most primitive human tool in existence. You cannot prepare a containment strategy for something that was built in a lab by people who spent decades removing every reason to contain it. Godzilla is the king of monsters because he earned that title through 250 million years of biological competition. The Distortus Rex skipped 250 million years. It was handed the endpoint, and it escaped before anyone could study what that meant. It's not hiding on Ile Saint-Hubert, it's waiting to be found. Jurassic World Rebirth wasn't just a dinosaur movie. It was Gareth Edwards putting MonsterVerse-scale biology inside a franchise that had been playing it safe for 30 years. Which one of these do you think Godzilla actually couldn't beat? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one. That video right there. Every Titan in the hollow earth that Monarch is still officially hiding from the public. You're going to want to see that next. See you there.